What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from Atrium Brewing, and they are out of Louisville, Kentucky, and this is their Hefe. So they're calling this one a German-style Hefeweizen that comes in at 5.5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is just over 3 weeks old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to a very good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Todd, for hooking me up with this one. So big thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies he hooked me up with. And he hooked me up with a couple Atrium beers, and I have this, and they have a pastry sour, forget the name of it, chocolate covered cherry boy or something like that. And what I really like about the beer mail that Todd sent is he sent me a couple like regular beer that taste like beer styles, and this is one of them, German-style Hefeweizen. He also sent me a Belgian strong dark ale too to review. So German-style Hefeweizen, I really like the style. If you saw my review of Unibrew's Blanche de Chambly, I really enjoy like wheat beers from European countries, Belgian wit beers, German Hefeweizens. So I hopefully am going to enjoy this one. So let's crack it open, see what we got going on. The one thing I like about German Hefeweizens is that I like that banana clove thing. If you don't like bananas or clove, you probably won't like a German-style Hefeweizen. So let's see how this one is. I'm going to leave a little bit at the end there and see if there's like some sediment in there that we'll, pour in. So I won't pour it all in. We'll leave some at the bottom there. And yeah, so that has, a cloudy look to it. Now it's funny because when I did the Unibrew review for the Belgian Witbier, I said on camera, oh, it looks like a vibrant New England style IPA, and then I look on camera, I was like, quite a bit darker. It's kind of how it's going to be with this one. In person, it looks like a darker New England style IPA, but it has that murky kind of look to it. It's orange, like a honey orange, a deeper honey orange. Had about a finger of a off-white head that is now dissipated to a thin film, but yeah, plays the role of a German style Hefeweizen. Let's get a nose. Yeah, so big banana, big clove, almost banana bread. Touch of like a Hubba Bubba kind of bubblegum thing. So the esters are producing that banana and bubblegum, and the phenols are producing the clove. There's a nice like wheat base here. It's kind of like banana bread to a certain extent, but like not a super sweet banana bread. Yeah, it smells really tasty. It doesn't smell like overly sweet. There's not a lot going on here, but a lot of German Hefeweizens aren't that complex. The style's not meant to be. Banana, clove, a little bit of bubblegum, that kind of wheat bread thing going on, banana bread in general. Shout out to the cart going by. But yeah, let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Todd. Ooh. So this is really dry. This is like semi to full-on dry. Styles like this don't have a lot of bitterness, typically, very mild bitterness, but as soon as I took that sip, there was a dryness kind of enveloped the palate. I would say this is more to like a full-on dry. Yeah, full-on dry in the finish. Body on this one, 5.5%. It's not usually typically going to be big, but using wheat, usually it helps the body and mouthfeel to some extent. Body's like straight up medium, which is nice at 5.5%. The mouthfeel, while it's crisp and effervescent and there's carbonation, has a nice smoothness on the palate, almost a creamy sensation on the finish. And the characters themselves of this beer follow the nose to about 95%. Right up front, hit with more of, like, a lot of times I'll get the spiciness of a yeast phenol, like typically mid-palate for me. And this one, the clove hits right at the forefront, like right at the tip of the tongue and kind of carries on. And then over top of that, there's like a banana bread kind of feeling. Middle of the palate's where the bubblegum hits. There's an underlying like wheat component. And again, on the back of the palate, the flavors kind of dissipate and fade away as that dryness starts to hit. 5.5%, you can't tell. And nowadays, you probably shouldn't. Brewers do such a good job hiding alcohols, or alcohol ABVs, I should say, that if you're tasting alcohol in a 5.5% beer at this point, and you're somebody who drinks a lot of different beers, or even just a regular beer drinker, like if you're tasting a substantial alcohol of 5.5%, it's a little bit worrisome. Poured in the rest here because I want to see if it changes up. Sometimes when you pour in the sediment, it changes up the mouthfeel a little bit, but sometimes the flavors get a little bit more intense. Sometimes they change for the worse. We'll see. Okay, so what this actually did is it kind of bumped up that bubblegum kind of profile, middle of the palate. And there's a little bit of like a citrus tone now, like a little bit of like an orange and a lemon. Yeah, this is a really nice German-style Hefeweizen. It's not my favorite within the style, but I think for a local brewery that I've never had anything from, for Todd, you know, he's spoken well of this brewery before. So they're one of the better breweries in Louisville. And for them to make something this solid, yeah, I can get behind it. It's not anything amazing. Stylistically, this is like a 4.25, I would say. 4.25, maybe a high 4.25, 4.3. But as far as personal preference goes, I can't go crazy about this one. Again, it's not the best in the style, but I think they did a pretty good job here. But yeah, anyway, Hefe from Atrium Brewing. I am going to give that a high 3.75 out of 5. I'll go 3.85. I think that's a fair score for what I'm drinking. And if I knew the price and availability, I might go a little higher, because I'd say if 4 packs of this were like $10, 12 at the most, I think I might creep into the low 4s. So I would like to see 4 packs of this no higher than $12. If it starts creeping into like $13, $14, $15, $16 range, then it's a German-style Hefeweizens. I can get great German Hefeweizens, like authentic ones, for cheaper than that. So I would like to see this around $10 to $12. So Todd, let me know what you paid for it. Availability, I have no idea. I assume they get distro in and around Louisville, into Indiana as well, because that's where I think Todd picks these up, or maybe he went down to Kentucky. I don't know. I remember Todd resides in Indiana, and I know he gets his hands on these beers, so I think their distro is okay. I've never seen them here in the West New York area. So if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. Yeah, not much more to say about it. It's a really well-made, enjoyable Hefeweizen, just not one of my favorites within the style. I've had so many good ones. I need to revisit some authentic, old-school German Hefeweizens and review them, because I haven't reviewed that many. And yeah, I think I'm going to do that at some point. I think thanks to Todd, not only for sending me all the beers, but beers like this specifically, because I don't drink a lot of Hefeweizens on the channel, Belgian strong darks, things of that nature. So I need to revisit my roots of getting into craft beer. And I drank a bunch of German beers and Belgian beers when I got into craft beer. So need to revisit some of those. And this might be the spark. Todd. So anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.